Hello everyone. Today we have the pleasure of speaking about 6-Bulk API, an API solution to transform or redefine data delivery. And to give us more insights into this new API, I have here with me today Emmanuel Godet, our head API and Cloud. Welcome. And Yogita Mehta, our commercial product director for corporate actions. It's a pleasure to have you here. So without further ado, let's dive into the questions. My first question goes to you, Emmanuel. We already offer 6 Web API at 6 to feed display applications and websites. Why do we offer another API solution now, and for whom?
Okay, so it's a very, very valid question, obviously. So indeed, the Web API is a massive success, but also it's worth mentioning that we have file delivery solutions such as Flex for delivery of bulk data in files. But the bulk API is actually a solution for delivering bulk data through an API. So that's really the big difference. So some customers nowadays, they want to receive their data in bulk via an API. So that's what we're doing.
Okay. So, and I know that data retrieval through 6-Bulk API is super fast. I'm sure you're going to tell us how fast. But my question would be, how does 6-Bulk API make data retrieval faster?
Okay, so it's both simple and complicated. So we actually have a simple solution which uses Amazon S3 solution. But what's really important is that the data is structured for very, very fast delivery, parallel deliveries through the API. So that's really what makes a big difference, the way we model the data.
Okay. And now you've been mentioning or talking about like this initial load, and I also know there is like this delta update to bulk data, right? So my question would be, how does 6-Bulk API simplify data integration and ingestion of bulk data?
Absolutely. So really the important part is that we use standards. So we use REST, we use JSON, and that means that for developers who integrate the API, it's super easy. So a good developer can probably integrate the bulk API within hours. If they simply look at the API portal and use the samples there, they can really integrate the API very quickly. So they can build a solution which can download the full extract within half a minute for corporate actions, and then they can download deltas every 15 minutes for corporate actions again, and pulling the delta every 15 minutes take like a couple of seconds really. So it's super quick, and they are they can control exactly how they want to download the data.
So our users have full flexibility and control.
Totally. That's what makes a really big difference. Absolutely.
So that sounds terrific. Now, I know 6 is not formally, at least, selling APIs. I mean, but it's definitely a means to make a difference with data. And this is why I'd like to bring you in, a data expert for corporate actions. So from your perspective, Yogita, how does the access to corporate actions through 6-Bulk API make a difference to our clients?
Right. You're going to get me started, aren't you? Well, I am super excited about this development, and I'll share my excitement with you for that. So essentially what we are doing with the bulk API is we are able to give data. Traditionally, the back office will use this data in a file or in a feed. What API does is it allows them to give really fast, high-speed data, as Emmanuel already highlighted, the speed and efficiency that it brings in. Our API is an iteration of 15022. What it means is that with the 15022 data endpoints, the clients can instantly map it into their existing post-processing platform. So that's great, isn't it? But nowadays, corporate actions is quite a lot in demand, even in the front office or even in the middle office. Now, the front and middle are not so much married to 15022 because that's a post-trade processing standard, but they still want equally fast and efficient data delivery mechanism, which is through an API. So with the APIs, what we are now able to do is deliver our data which is suitable for the post-trade as well as a pre-trade environment. And that is really the big exciting part about it, that a client organization can buy this API and use it across the organization.
I see, and I know you touched on it already, but could you elaborate a little bit more on why like this precise and timely information on corporate events is so crucial?
So we can look at it in two perspectives. Post-trade, it's important for the post-trade processing world to get that information in a timely fashion, because they need more lead time to identify which are the underlying clients that are impacted and how does this corporate action affect them. So if there's a dividend announced, they need to make the payment to them. If a dividend is cancelled, they should need to stop their processing so that they don't end up paying out money and having to reverse the entries out there. And that has happened in the industry. But then we look at the pre-trade, and which is where another area where corporate actions is becoming very critical, is that if there is a trader or a fund manager who's planning to take a decision on investment decision, they would love to know what happened in the corporate action space, because a price movement will be impacted by the corporate actions announcement out there. So it is, the timeliness is equally important from a different perspective for the front and the back. The other angle that I just wanted to highlight, I know you haven't asked me, but I'm so excited, is that, the bulk API is in the name itself. Post-trade world tend to look for securities that they have invested in already. Pre-trade world looks for the securities that they would like to invest in. The API can cater to both sides of it. So no longer do a client have to say, do I have that instrument in my list? Do I know what corporate actions are coming up on it? No, you can just demand it, and it's all available at your disposal at all times.
So it's so good to see how excited you are. I mean, I know you're excited too. We also have our first contract, right?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That's fantastic. Amazing news. So coming almost to my last question, I heard that we have corporate actions available through 6 bulk API. So what other data sets do we have, and what are your plans for the future?
Absolutely. So we also, apart from corporate actions, we also have the 6 reference data with a very, very strong focus right now on fixed income reference data. So we're adding more and more fields, etc. That's really important part of our strategy. And following that, we're focusing on end of day history for the rest of the year.
That's truly exciting. So check this out. This already brings me to the end. Thank you very much for being here today with us. This was super insightful. So we've learned that via or through 6 bulk API, you can manage your security master now more efficient and cost effective than ever. Thank you very much for watching. And thank you both to be here.
Thank you.